In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to create a gear using the polar array command. Start out by going to File and New. Choose No for saving the changes, and select the Small Objects Inches template and click Open. I'm going to maximize the top view and start off by drawing the center hole for the gear. Curve, Circle, Center Radius. The center of the circle is 0. Type 0 and press Enter. The diameter of the circle is going to be 1/8 of an inch. Make sure you're in the diameter mode. We can see that we are because diameter is in bold. If diameter is in parentheses, just click on it to set it to the diameter mode. I'm going to type in 0.125 for 1/8 of an inch. Zoom in on the object by holding the Control and the right mouse button and moving the mouse up or down to zoom in. And we can see there's our center hole. Now we're going to draw the keyway. So if we go to Curve and choose Rectangle, we're going to go corner to corner. First corner I'm going to draw, I'm just going to click off to the side here. And now for our other corner, I'm going to set a length. We set the length for the diameter of the circle by typing in decimal. We can also type in a fraction. So I'm going to do 1/16 of an inch by entering 1, and then the front slash for divided by, and then 16, press Enter. So you can see that now we have 1/16 of an inch. Also going to make this 1/16 of an inch in its width, so 1 divided by 16, Enter. You can move this into place using the Move command. So Transform, Move, select this object, and right click. The point to move from, we're going to find the midpoint. So turn on your mid snap and snap to the midpoint. And now move over and find the quad snap at the top. So make sure your quad snap is checked. And we can click there. We want this keyway to come inside of this circle. So we're going to scale this. Transform and choose Scale 1D. Select this square and right click. And our origin point is going to be an end point. And I'm going to use Shift and come straight down and click for my first reference point. So you can see that now I'm dragging this. So make sure when you drag this, it just comes inside of the circle and click again. Now I'm going to use my Curve Boolean tool to trim up these curves and create one closed curve. Curve, Curve Edit Tools, Curve Boolean. I'm going to select the Delete Input to All. And we want to make sure Combine Regions equals Yes. I'm going to select all these curves, both the rectangle and the circle, and right click. And to get the regions to keep, we can click inside all three areas, like so. Or we could also just click outside and it will select all these areas. Right click to finish. And now we have our center pivot point for the gear and a keyway. Now I'm going to draw the outside of our gear. I'm going to draw a reference circle for the outside diameter. I'm going to move to the next layer, clicking with a check mark, making the layer 1 the current layer. Curve, circle, center radius. Center circle is 0. Press Enter. The diameter is going to be 1 inch, so press 1 and Enter. I'm going to move to the next layer, making layer 2 the current layer, and go to Curve, Line, Single Line. I want to turn the Both Sides option on by clicking both sides. Now you can see we're prompted for the middle of the line. If your quad snap is on, you'll find a quad point up top here. We're going to enter a value for the width of the top of our gear tooth. Remember, the width is going to be doubled, so you can also let Rhino do the math. So if we want to enter a 1/16 of an inch for the overall width, we could do 0.0625. So there's our 1/16th, and we could do divided by 2. So because both sides is on, it's going to double the overall length of the line. Because we do divided by 2, it's going to cut it in half. So our line will be 1/16 of an inch when we're done because we're compensating with this fraction. We hold shift, locking it to ortho, and click. Now we have a 1/16 of an inch line. Draw from the quad point, going out both sides. You can turn off the red layer by clicking on the light bulb, and you can see we have our line. Now we're going to build the side of the tooth. So we're going to repeat the last command by right-clicking and find the end snap at the end of this line and click for the start of the line. Now we're going to enter a distance and an angle constraint for this. To enter the distance constraint, type 1/16 of an inch, so 0.0625. Enter. So now the line is constrained to a 1/16 of an inch. And now we're going to constrain the angle to 10 degrees. So enter the less than sign for the degree, and then 10 is going to be the angle. And press enter. Now you can see the mouse jumps in 10-degree increments. So if you come straight down at 180 degrees and move one click over, now we're at 10 degrees. So we're at 190 degrees. We're going to mirror this over to the other side. So if we go transform, mirror, select this line, right click. The mirror plane is going to be 0. Press enter. And then hold shift for ortho and left click. Now we have the tooth for our gear. Now we can create a circular array or circular copies of this using the polar array command. Under transform, array, polar. The objects in the array, select all 3 lines that make up the tooth and right click. The center of the polar array will be 0 and press enter. Now we can set the number of items. So we're going to make a total of 18 teeth. So we'll type 18 and press enter. And the angle to fill is 360 degrees. So 360 is already our current value. If it's not, you would just type in 360 and press enter. And now we have 18 teeth. We're also going to draw a line that connects, making the inner tooth or inner portion of the tooth. So curve, line, single line, end snap is turned on. An end snap here, an end snap there. And we'll do polar array again. So transform, array, polar. Select this curve, right click. Center of polar array is 0. Press enter. The number of items is 18. We'll press enter since that's our current value. 360, we can press enter again. And now we have the outside curve for our gear. All these lines are separate pieces. We want to join them all together. So we can select all the lines on the purple layer by right-clicking on the layer name and choosing Select Objects. 72 curves added to selection. Now we can click the Join button. We can see 72 curves joined into one close curve. Now going to go to the perspective view. I'm going to zoom in. Move on to the third layer, making it current. And we're going to extrude this. So under Solid, extrude planar curve, straight. The curves to extrude are this outside curve and the inside. And right click. And we're going to set the both sides to equal no. So if it's not, make sure both sides equals no. We're going to extrude the gear to a thickness of 1/16 of an inch. So we'll do 0.0625. Press enter. And we can now shade this in. And there is our complete gear. The sample gear file is in your sample files if you'd like to examine the model that I've built during this lesson.